So have you ever wondered if anything goes wrong and you need to take your door panel off of your Honda, but the door can't open, either jammed or like the door lock. Like, let's imagine you took the door lock knob off and dropped it inside of the door and you need to retrieve it, or anything of that sort. Today I'm going to show you how to remove your Honda door panel. Now, the process is generally the same for all of these, 2-door or 4-door. You've usually got one screw here behind the handle, and then one here in the handle trim, and then of course your lock knob, this piece, and then you usually have clips that go all the way around. On the front doors you usually have these little triangles here that kind of clip in. These just pop right off if you're working on a front door. Today we're going to be working on a rear door. Now, to give us more room to work, since it's going to be on the back door, you're going to want to pull your front seat up to be able to give you more room to work with. When it's pulled forward, you can even get it to clear entirely like this. This is what you want. So we're going to come in from here. We're going to undo this screw, and this will unhook. When you push forward this way, this will unhook and you can pull it back. Now in here we have this clip here, which you push this way to unhook from that rod. Just like that, it kind of swings out of the way like that. You can then pull the rod directly up, just like that, and it unhooks. You pull this back and there's a connector that you push to unclip that. So there's your handle assembly. Now we need to deal with this screw. This screw is pretty easy to get to. It's just right there. There it is. This little piece will just pull directly up. You can keep the screw inside of it. So from this point we can get the door open. So this piece over here that we took off is the way to open the door. If you look over here, this little green piece in here, if you can see it, this has a little swivel bit on it, which is the rod that goes up here. But it's over like this, so we can't really get to it. But if you look underneath that, it's hooked to a rod of its own right here. So if we look here, there's the part that opens the door here. If you feel down a little bit, you'll feel that bar that the swivel's attached to. You want to push that this way, which I just did here. Once you have it pushed, you can grab this and pull, and you can open the door. You may have to give it a bump depending. But now we have the door opened. We have this piece over here, which is going to have to come off, and just grab it from this side and pull. It's got these little clips, one that points down and one that just pops in. As you can see over here, the one that goes down goes in this hole over here, and the one that pops in goes here. Now that this is out of the way, we can start getting this off of here. So now that we have the door opened, we can actually pop the clips from around the door and then pull up to access that lock we dropped. So you can just grab there's an edge that overlaps right here. You can grab, give it a pull real quick. That'll pop that loose. That'll make a gap under the bottom, which there's our lock. That's what fell out. So now we can continue to pop that around, and then it pops loose. When it pops loose, we can grab it and lift straight up, and it'll come out. Back here we have the little door lamp. We can press a clip and pop this off, and that's your door light. So now that we have this the way that we need it, let me show you what went wrong here. So here's the mechanism in the door. This piece swivels so that you can put the door panel on and off. This goes here, which is your actual lock. So when you pull up and down on your lock, that's what it does. My problem was that I forgot about this swivel piece. And if you just take the lock knob off it'll fall down in the door, and then you have to do this to get the door open and whatnot. This caused me some massive issues when I had to help family evacuate a storm, and when that happened, we had to run last minute, and this door wouldn't open, so everybody had to cram in through the other side of the car, and that wasn't fun. Which, by the way, I am raising up for a lift kit for this car to make it more emergency evacuation weather friendly, so that we can help friends and family get out of areas when they need to. I'll put a link to that if you'd like to donate to help that happen. I'll have a fundraiser for that on Throne. So from here we can put the lock knob back on, put the panel back on, pop everything back in, and put it back together the way it was. Okay, so to put this panel back on, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the panel here and I'm going to pop this little cover that goes over the lockout. This is important because when we go to put this back together, we can use this to just insert the lock back into that. It'll make our lives a lot easier. So we're going to take our light plug and we're going to plug it back in here. Make sure that your clips, or as many of them as you have, some of these may break, but there's clips going the length of the bottom of the panel here. So when we go to put this back on, we want to take our lock knob and put our lock knob back on the lock here. Like so. Now we're going to take this and we're going to go for the top first. This is a lot easier if you can roll your window down. My window's locked up, so I have to do this carefully. Basically, you want to get your top part of the panel seated like that. Make sure that you get your connector for your lock to come up. So now we can just put the other components in like normal. There's the little swivel clip on the back of this here. So we come in and we hook this rod back onto it again. And then we're going to do the opposite of what we did before, which is flip the clip back onto itself. So here you can see the clip. So the goal is to take this and push it. It's really hard to do one-handed. So you can grab it and push back onto here where it just clips back on the rod. And then we're going to hook this electrical connector up. And back behind this, you'll see these little cutout holes. That's where our little hooks on this plastic piece go. There's 3 of them. One here, one there, one there. And they'll slide back in this way. So we're going to connect our electrical connector. We're going to put it back here, slide it to the right, and your screw hole will line up perfectly. So now we can put our screws back in here. So put this one back. Perfect. Okay, so now we got our handle with the screw that's in it. We're just going to take it and put it down. It'll go automatically where it needs to, and we can screw it back in. Alright, now we're almost done. We got this piece left. This piece is real simple. So that the camera will catch it, I will do it with the door shut. Okay, so we have this piece. We're just going to put it with this crease facing down. We're just going to put it on here. You're going to try and line up. Oh, there it went, perfect. You line up where the bottom clip goes and then just pop it onto the top clip, no problem. Now, our door opens and closes as it should and locks. This is on a 1994 to 97 Honda Accord. This is a station wagon, works the same way on a sedan. The same logic can be applied to the front doors as well. And many other Hondas, for sure, have some of the same design. But that's the general gist of it, especially if you can just get into where you can get to the lock and the opening mechanism, you can get the door open to do this. You technically can get the panel unhooked from the door while the door is shut, but you risk breaking the door panel. So I hope this helps somebody, and I'll see you in the next one.